Follow along as I show you how to make this beginner-friendly Silly Goose balloon backdrop and share my strategy for pricing this balloon design. The garland is made up of clusters of 6 balloons. You'll need 1 17-inch and 5 11-inch balloons for each of these clusters. Using an electric inflator, inflate the 17-inch and 11-inch balloon at the same time, pulling the smaller balloon off once it's nearly full. Press both balloons against a table or your torso, slowly letting air out to round off the balloons. Tie these into a pair by wrapping the nozzles around twice and tying them in a knot. This will create the first pair of our cluster of 6. Next, inflate 2 11-inch balloons anywhere between 6 and 10 inches in diameter. I personally inflate mine anywhere between 6 and 8 inches as I like that smaller size as a contrast to the larger 17-inch balloon. Tie these together into a pair and then repeat this step so that you have 2 pairs of 11-inch balloons. Join the 3 pairs you've created into a cluster by overlapping 2 of the pairs so that the nozzles touch in the center, and then twist 1 balloon from each of those pairs around each other, locking them into a quad. To this, you're going to take the 3rd pair and slip it in so that the nozzles of that pair are touching the nozzles of the quad. Then twist 1 balloon from that final pair around one of the balloons already in the quad, and this will create your cluster of 6. To accent my backdrop board, I need a garland that's 6 feet long, so I'm going to make 2 clusters in each of my 3 colors, which when tied together will give me a garland of about 6 feet in length. To tie those clusters together, I'm going to use an empty 260 balloon that I'm going to remove all the air from and tie the end in a knot. Then take the end of that 260 and tie it to one of the nozzles of your first cluster. Nestle a cluster of a different color right up against that first one, pull the 260 up to the center of the new cluster, and wrap it in a figure 8 around a couple of those balloons. Nestle a cluster of that 3rd color right against the previous one, pull the 260 up, and wrap it around a couple of those balloons. Now I'm alternating my 17-inch balloons back and forth so that I get a nice variety, but I'm not adding any on the back side as I want that side to be nice and flat against my backdrop. Continue tying on the clusters, alternating the colors, and then once you get to the last cluster, tie any remaining 260 tail to a nozzle of that final cluster, completing our garland. Next, I'm going to make a backdrop board that coordinates with my shades of green. I found this soft green bulletin board paper at my local craft store, and I love these rolls because they're nice, thick paper like wrapping paper, but they're 4 feet wide, so I can cover my entire 40 by 60 piece of foam board in one piece of paper without any seams. I'm simply going to tape the paper to the backside of the foam board. Now the board I'm using has a foam core with basically poster board on both sides. You could also use the pink insulation foam boards and they would work just as well. To give this board support, I'm going to tape the board to 2 backdrop stands that are slightly shorter than the board. I'm just going to use some white gaff tape or clear packaging tape and tape in 2 or 3 spots down each pole, making sure that tape is attaching to the board and not just the paper at the edges, as that could just rip the paper instead of holding the board in place. This is a great step to do once you're at the final party location. I'm going to flip this around into its final spot and then add a couple anchor points to attach our balloon garland to. On the top right hand side of the board, I'm going to use a 4-inch spring clamp, or you could use a rather large binder clip. To that, tie an empty 260 balloon, making sure it's attached to the clamp and can't just pop off the end. I like to leave the tail ends of the 260 long and use the tail to attach the garland to, but you could also take the tail ends and tie them together in a knot, creating one large loop that you could slip over one of the balloons of the garland to hold it in place. I'm going to hold the garland in front of the board so that half of the garland covers part of the board and half the garland is off the side of the board, making this backdrop look larger. Then, once I'm happy with its placement, I'm going to take one of those 260 tails attached to the spring clamp and gently pull it forward around the closest balloon. Then wrap it in a figure 8 around 2 of the balloons in front of it and let go of that tail and it'll disappear into the garland. I'm going to attach the garland in the exact same way lower down on the board, making sure that when you pull that 260 forward, you don't pull too tightly, squishing the balloons against the board as that will deform the garland and could warp the backdrop. For added visual interest, I'm going to attach these mini balloon clusters. These are made from 8 5-inch balloons that I've inflated to 4 inches in diameter using my electric timer pump set to 1 second, or you can use a hand pump. Inflate 2 of these 5-inch balloons at the same time, holding the first balloon closed while you inflate the second one, and then I'm going to tie these into pairs. Make a second pair and join the 2 together by overlapping them in the center, and then twist 1 balloon from each of those pairs around each other, locking it into a quad. Make a second quad in the exact same way, and then we're going to join these together into a mini cluster by taking a 260 balloon in a coordinating color, Cut it in half and then tie one of these quads to each end of that half of the 260 balloon. Two easy ways to attach the quad is by pinching one end of that 260 against the nozzles of the quad, stretch it tight, and then wrap it in a figure 8 pattern around two of the balloons back and forth a couple times. The second way is to take the end of the 260 balloon and tie it in a knot to one of the nozzles of the quad. Both methods work just as well, it's just a matter of personal preference. I made one mini cluster to match each of the larger clusters of the garland. To attach the mini clusters, stretch the 260 between the quads and wrap it around one of the balloons already in the garland, making sure the 260 sits against the nozzle of the balloon. Then place the quads anywhere you like them, using them to add texture, visual interest, or shape to the outer edges of the garland. I particularly like nestling these little balloons around the 17-inch balloons, as sometimes there's gaps when you have a larger balloon attached to the garland, and these are the perfect way to fill in any of those holes. While I continue adding these mini clusters to the garland, let's take a moment to talk about pricing this design. This is a great design bundle to offer to clients. It has the backdrop, the garland, as well as foils, and by bundling that all together, you can give your client one price for a complete look, instead of having to walk them through the pricing on each of these elements. The important thing is that you know how to price each of these elements and give them that bundle deal. I've linked a pricing tool in the description box below to help you figure out the exact price for your business and market, as every balloon market is different and the numbers that I'm using for my business may be wildly different from the numbers that you should be charging for your business. As an example though, this 6-foot garland, I'm charging $20 a foot. That covers not only materials, but also the time and effort that goes into making it. I'm charging a flat $15 fee for the foil balloons and a $100 fee for the backdrop that the client can keep. This makes the bundle $235 plus a delivery fee and taxes. Don't forget about charging those taxes. The star of the design is this 25-inch foil goose. Now this is a set that I got off Amazon, and I'll leave it linked below if you'd like to use it as well. Once the goose balloon is inflated, I'm going to hide away the nozzle by flipping it towards the back side of the goose and securing it in place with a glue dash. Place that glue dash on the side of the nozzle that we'll be putting towards the back of the goose, remove the paper backing, and gently press it into the back of the goose. Then I'm going to clean up the edges of this foil balloon by cutting off all of these extra tabs. I'll be using adhesive to secure my goose to the design, so I'm going to remove these with a pair of scissors until all the edges are nice and clean. I want my goose balloon to look like it's standing on the bottom left-hand side of the board, balancing out the visual weight of this backdrop. I'm going to secure the goose directly to the backdrop board using some glue dashes. Place the glue on the widest portion of the goose that will be touching that backdrop. For added stability, I'm also going to add one to the head so it doesn't accidentally flop forward. Hover the goose just off the backdrop until you have it exactly where you want it, and then press it against the backdrop paper. For added whimsy, I'm also adding these cream-colored bows right on top of the cream-colored balloons in the garland. These bows came along with the goose in the set and make a perfect accent. I attached them to the garland using a couple of glue dashes, and that finishes up the balloon portion of this design. Now I've left this with just a plain green backdrop, but you could easily add custom lettering to this board to celebrate any silly goose occasion. If you enjoyed this project, you should check out this video. And until the next time, remember, stay creative, everybody.